Alright, hi. As you'll notice, I have my VTuber on the left side. I am trying to see what works, and I do have a gaming chair coming, so I should be able to make sure that I am higher up and I am more eye level with my webcam. So introduction, hi, I am the creator of the web series Locker 79, and I am currently rewriting it because I was 16 and 17 when I wrote the series, and I am currently 20 years old. I have had a lot more experience in writing since then, and I have developed a lot more of the story. The basic premises was that there were these teenagers that were angry at the main character, Rosal Astor, for bullying them in middle school. That seems like a typical revenge plot, kind of was, and I ran with it. I had created the series with my English teacher at the time, Miss Suzanne Holt, and I had done a darker twist because she had initially come up with like this high school thing with a locker, and I essentially just added murder and death to it. And so that is what I ended up doing, and the series ended up forming a life of its own. And thanks to the voice actors, I was definitely able to bring it to life. So now that I've gotten better at my writing and can fill in plot holes a lot easier, I am able to rewrite it. So as you'll see here, I have the Locker 79 remastered outline brought up, and the book and the rewritten concepts. I will not be going over the book, that is a lot of spoilers, and so you'll just be seeing the remastered and some of the rewritten concepts. If you would like to follow along on my journey of rewriting Locker 79 and hopefully redoing it as another animated series, please like and subscribe. Also, the series will likely be posted on Coze Phase, as that is my collaboration channel with my best friend Jazzixy. It is unable to be searched upon on YouTube because I believe it's because there is no activity, so I can just add the channel in the description and hopefully you can navigate to it there. So without further ado, let's get started. So my general outline is that I have the genres, the rating, the seasons, the episodes, the character count, feminine, masculine, androgynous, and then I have the series plot, which would be posted on Casting Call Club because unfortunately I do have to recast some people. And I have to cast more people as well. And then I have the extended plot, which is what the voice actors would get. Well, I guess you guys will as well. So the series plot on Casting Call Club says this story follows Roselle Astor and their friends. The group finds a locker that is mysteriously unassigned, wondering what secrets this haunting, quite literally, question mark, locker may hold. The group sets out on a journey to uncover the mystery of the locker number 79. Will it be deadly? They don't know. They're just bored teenagers. Weren't we all a bored teenager at some point? Well, I doubt we were all bored enough to go into a locker that was rumored to have some sort of supernatural entity, but, you know, take it or leave it. I am patching up the plot hole of when Amber said that there was supernatural activity in, I believe it was the first episode. Hopefully I can put a clip here.
Also, have you heard about the supernatural rumor? I thought they were pretty cool.
And so, with this one, there will be an entity haunting the locker, and the entity craves blood and death and sacrifices. I don't know. So there's that. The extended plot helps elaborate little bit more. Extended plot. Every night at West Creek High School, after the final buses pull away and the security lights flicker on, something in the building wakes up. The air goes dense. The lockers hum with a low, metallic vibration. Shadows stretch farther than they should. No one talks about it during the day, but students know. Those who stay after hours sometimes disappear. Others perform the secret ritual known as the hiding, slipping into lockers and sealing themselves inside until dawn, hoping for power, knowledge, or something darker. And then there is Locker 79. The locker no student is ever assigned. The locker that is always kept chained shut. The locker that sometimes rattles as if something inside wants out. The entity. Roselle Astor, age 15, has learned to watch for the subtle things. Lights that flicker only near Locker 79. Cold spots that follow them down the hall, the way the locker's reflection lags, showing their face a moment after they've already moved. They aren't imagining it. Amber, age 14, sticks close to Roselle partly because she trusts them and partly because the two share a heavy history. They don't talk about middle school, but everyone at West Creek knows they were both sent away for a year after separate bullying incidents. What they don't know is that Roselle and Amber never bullied anyone together, and their victims just transferred back as well. So obviously, there are going to be some tweaks to this. When I was writing it, I just came up with some, ritual, but I don't know if I will incorporate that quite yet. We'll see. But as you can see, I have elaborated on the bullying part. They transferred back after going to boarding school. In the original series, they had mentioned this. Amber bullied Ellie and Thomas, I believe, because she was insecure. Mainly because her parents had just divorced and she was going through it. That is not an excuse, it is just a reason. Roselle bullied them because they were able to express themselves, and Roselle, being agender and being a queer kid at 15 years old, or really I guess 12, 13 years old at that time, felt very insecure, felt like they couldn't express themselves. They were not out to their parents at that point. Just being a queer kid at that age, knowing that you are different, knowing that others will perceive you in a negative light, seeing others be able to openly express themselves when you can't, that has to be frustrating. And I would know that because I was that kid. So it's not an excuse again, but it is a reason. And you can sympathize with them, but you can't empathize with them. I don't know. Whichever way it goes, I don't remember. So now we have the protagonists. Roselle Astor, they, them, agender 15. Roselle Astor is a genderqueer teenager who identifies as agender. This has led to incidents in the past. Formerly a bully, they have been rehabilitated via boarding school and very loving but tough parents who only wanted the best for them in their future. Now not so insecure, they have found their confidence in themselves and their environment. However, they aren't as adventurous as they used to be and tend not to go out much. Their best friend Amber pushes them to be more adventurous. Amber is their opposite, and they care deeply about her. They become a morally great person, but they're okay now. Their birthday is April 5th, ambiguous, compassionate, zealous, and they have an androgynous, medium-low teenage voice. I will note that I will definitely reprise my role as Roselle Astor, despite some concerns about me being visibly white and them not being white. But given that I was 16 at the time, I didn't entirely understand the whole thing behind white people taking people of color roles, and I'm still understanding it. I have talked to various people of color friends. Some of them care, some of them don't care. I think it just depends on who you talk to. But because Roselle Astor means so much to me, I do wish to reprise the role, and I hope that I am given the grace of being who I am and voicing this character. This character is quite literally a self-insert, by the way. Quite literally a self-insert. So I don't feel like anyone else could really portray them in a way that I would like, because they're literally my self-insert. So because of that, I'm going to reprise their role, and I hope that people can be okay with that. I just wanted to address that because I know there were some concerns about that when I was doing the series. I was called racist, and also for some reason people had issue with Roselle being agender, which is really strange. I think it was just a transphobic commenter, low-key. I think they thought that I was trying to just force representation in my series, and representation is something that I love to have in my series. I love to have a diverse cast. You'll notice that a lot of my characters are people of color, a lot of my characters are white. It's kind of just like a 50-50 playing ground. I don't really think about the race of a character. I just, honestly, it just happens. but I love also having a diverse cast, so maybe subconsciously I am making a lot of people of color characters. I like to put that representation out there, and including in that representation is queer characters. None of my characters are definitively straight, and if you don't like that, tough luck, I guess. They're either unlabeled, queer, or just that, I guess, or undefined, whatever. None of them are straight. Not even the parents are straight. They're either unlabeled, queer, or they're just some other label like bisexual. I believe Millie Astor is confirmed bisexual now, and Ryan Astor is bi-curious. And there is a difference. There is a difference between bisexual and bi-curious. I can pull it up right now. Bi-curious means being curious about exploring attraction to a gender different from your usual preference. Bisexuality involves potential attraction to more than one gender and offers flexibility and fluidity in identity. So basically, bi-curious just means you're kind of exploring, you're kind of seeing, you know, how you feel about dating someone that isn't in your norm. Bisexuality means you have attraction to more than one gender. So, yeah, that's the difference for anyone that doesn't know. I will move on to Amber Icon. Amber Icon, she, they, demigirl, 14. Amber Icon is an adventurous and curious girl. Amber identifies as demigirl and is part of why she and Rizal are close, because they both understand the gender struggle. Unfortunately, she too has a concerning past. Amber's parents divorced when she was 12, and this caused her to lash out at those around her. She was needlessly cruel to those whose parents were married, not even necessarily happy, just married. Because of this behavior, her parents got along for the first time in a long time and put her in boarding school. She was forced to confront her rage towards her situation as she began to heal. Amber deals with the guilt of acting the way she did, which causes her to be hot-headed, but she's trying. Her birthday is January 20th, curious, irritable, nice. Voice feminine, medium-high, soft but upbeat voice. So Amber has a very complicated past, not cast, as I mentioned before, and she's trying her best, but because of her guilt, she does tend to lash out still, but she's healing, she's getting better. She's flawed, but she's a good person at this point in time. I will not be casting a new voice actor for Amber. I will be hopefully having the original voice actor as Amber, who is Naima Green. Dan Shuden, he, him, male 15. Dan Shuden is a boy who's just simple. He gets good grades, has a good relationship with his mother, and generally keeps to himself. Sadly, his father passed away when he was younger in an airplane crash. Fortunately, Dan doesn't quite remember his father too well, so grief isn't an issue that he deals with. However, his mother does, so he sometimes has to comfort her. While he has a good relationship with his mother, she sometimes lashes out at him since he resembles his father so much. But he deals with it in a calm manner and almost always just randomly hugs her when she's lashing out. He doesn't know why he does this, but it works. His birthday is July 23rd. He's caring, fragile, and gentle. He has a masculine, youthful, medium voice. Dan, he is simple. He is a good kid, but he does have some mommy issues, most likely, because his mother tends to lash out at him sometimes, and maybe it's a trauma response. Maybe that's why he just hugs her. I haven't exactly worked that out. Maybe it's a fawn response. Maybe he just wants her to calm down. I have not exactly worked that out yet. I actually need to write out a scene of that happening so I can get an idea, but we will see how that plays out in the series, because I do want to incorporate everything that I've written here. I don't want to just have something written out and then not write it into the series, if that makes sense, because I did that with the original series and a lot was left out. And also, I don't know if I'll have the original voice actor or not. I actually probably need to ask him. It was nice. Don't know yet. I have yet to ask him. Hopefully he's willing to reprise his role. Though I know he's a fairly busy person, so maybe, but I don't know. V. Dover. She, they, demigirl 16. V. Dover is a very complicated person. Her intentions are never truly known, but what is known is that she was the one who had the locker before the locker went wrong. V turns out V turns up early to help Amber, Dan, and Roselle after she catches wind that Ellie, Thomas, and Vincent changed. V knows something is up, but is unsure of what. She comes up with a plan but fails to communicate. This leads to her downfall. Her birthday is February 15th, friendly, ominous, and secretive, and her voice is a feminine, deep, raspy, medium-low voice. I also hope to have the original voice actor, which is Monty Lin. So, hope to have the original voice actor. I know you're watching this. Yeah. She is a very complicated person, but they will appear a lot earlier on in the series now, because I know they appeared in, I believe, episode 7 of Locker 79, where they walked ominously in a bathroom to a crying Amber and Roselle in the corner hugging each other. They basically kind of forced themselves into the situation, but in this iteration, they are actually going to reach out to V and see if they can get information, while Ellie, Thomas, and Vincent are plotting against them behind their back. So, yeah. Now we get to the antagonists. Ellie Wilson, she, they, feminine, non-binary. I think I did change that. I think she was a female before, but no, she's just a feminine, non-binary person who is okay with being called a girl. Just sometimes she likes using they, and we love her for that. They are 16 years old. Ellie Wilson is a girl who's been hurt by the world and is subsequently very jaded and antagonistic towards it, having been bullied by Amber and Roselle not together. She specifically hates them both and was relieved when both got sent away to boarding school. Ellie thought she was finally safe and she ended up meeting Thomas. The two became close and bonded over the shared troubles of being bullied throughout their lives and having difficult home lives. Her birthday is July 13th. She is jaded, quiet, and manipulative. She has a feminine, preppy, sarcastic, medium-high voice. As for the voice actor, don't know. I have yet to reach out to them, and hopefully they will reprise it. I am honestly a little fearful that I came off a little strong towards them when I was a minor, because, yeah. I think I was just trying to be friends with everyone in the cast, and given that I was a kid, I was just trying to appeal to everybody, and hopefully I didn't put them off at all. If they aren't willing, I will put them on the casting call club, but hopefully they are, so I don't have to recast for Ellie, because Ellie's voice is literally perfect. So, hopefully. With Ellie, I'm gonna have them have a moral conflict in this iteration. They don't want revenge at first, but the Locker essentially manipulates them, and then Thomas also manipulates them. You'll see. The Entity. It's genderless, ageless. The Entity is a spirit that haunts the Locker number 79. Due to its activity, the Locker has been closed off to all of the student body to prevent incidents. Anytime someone tries to exorcise the Locker, they die. Of course, given that the Entity is simply just a ghostly spirit, it cannot lay hands on its victims. However, it is very good at psychological manipulation and torture, distorting the hallway, causing hallucinations, and making its victims feel like they're suffocating for daring to mess with it. The Entity has no rhyme or reason for doing any of this. It enjoys the thrill of it all. Ageless, assumed to have died in the early 1800s. Arrogant, hostile, manipulative. Androgynous, medium tone, raspy and eerie, distorted. Distorted would be, I would have to go in and edit and apply like a voice filter. Don't know how that's gonna work yet. I may just have someone that can do a voice that sounds distorted. I will see about that. So hopefully that works out. But this is essentially the driving force behind all of the events. Instead of a revenge plot, well, I guess it still kind of is, but instead of a revenge plot, it is something much darker now. And actually ties into the things that Amber said in the first iteration about the supernatural. So hopefully that will give more context, and I have already written the Entity into the book. You're going to hate the Entity. Or maybe you'll root for them. Whatever. Maybe, who knows. Thomas Silver. He, him, male, 15 years old. Thomas Silver is a boy who's been wronged by the education system and world alike, not only because he dealt with bullying in his early teen years, but also because he grew up in an environment that was unfortunately abusive. Also, trigger warning for all of us, I will provide a timestamp on screen that you can skip to. At 5 years old, his father died suddenly, and it changed him and his mother, Penelope Silver, permanently. Thomas's mother ended up developing a really bad alcohol addiction, and up until around 8, Thomas was often beaten and locked in a closet for days on end. However, when he was 10, his mother remarried his stepfather, Castor Silver. Thomas thought he would catch less of the flack for simply existing. Unfortunately, he was wrong, and he began to be abused by his stepfather as well. Having been beaten so much, Thomas developed violent tendencies and would often hit other kids at school for no reason. He began to enjoy the way it made them react. However, it was different when he got bullied in middle school. It was bad. He lost the very little self-esteem he had tried to build up. As a result, he became even more violent, but really towards himself. Today, he's a shell of his former self and vows to seek vengeance on everyone who has ever hurt him. His birthday is September 15th. He is arrogant, close-off, and violent. His voice is a masculine, mid-tone, slight accent. Regarding the voice actor, I don't know.
This is post-editing Coze VT. I had a segment in here about Thomas's voice actor and also Vincent's, but I have since decided to cut it out because I don't wish to give any personal information that I don't know is too public about both of them. But know that I am not sure about both of them returning because of private reasons and personal reasons as well. I hope that is okay enough for you. Thank you.
As you see, I don't have Vincent Smith's description written down yet, or anyone else's. Mia Allison, hopefully we'll have the original voice actor, which is Magic M. Ansley Astor, I'm gonna have to recast. Millie Astor, I'm gonna have to recast for different reasons, private reasons. Ryan Astor, yes, the voice actor has agreed to reprise his role. He's gonna kill me for whatever I'm gonna make Ryan do. Lillian Eichen, new voice actor. Kieran, these are new characters. Joshua Shuden will appear at some point. Sydney, I'm gonna have to recast. Principal, I don't know. I could reach out to the original voice actor, but we will see. News reporter, that's just an extra character. Probably get the same voice actor again. Castor Silver, new. Penelope, new. Caroline, new. Sylvia, new. Ezekiel, new. Arlo, Molly, Nicholas, new. But I do have, 2 transgender characters, transgender male and transgender female. Just to give some variety here, but also because I want to represent that in my series. Oh, there's an R at the top. That's I don't want that. Anyway, that is the remastered outline. I know that was a lot to take in, and I hope you enjoyed that. Now we can go to the rewritten concepts. Okay, so we already know the plot. We already know the plot, but they haven't forgotten what Rizal ever did. So, they set a trap. One rainy Tuesday on a dark and okay, I'm gonna stop. They corner Dan, Rizal's brave, curious friend, after drama club practice. Dan fights back, but Ellie shocks him with a taser meant only to stun, not injure permanently. Vincent and Thomas drag him down the darkening hallway, ignoring his pleas until they reach Locker 79. Ellie whispers Rizal should have thought twice before coming back, and they shove Dan inside, suddenly the locker shut. Yeah. And, to save Dan, Rizal must confront the violence of their past, the people they hurt, and the monster using those. Saving Dan means entering Locker 79 themselves, because the entity won't release him unless it gets what it wants. But stepping inside, essentially they might die. So, basically, Dan is held hostage, like the first series, but there's a lot more at stake. It's either you save Dan and sacrifice yourself, or you let Dan die and live with the guilt of that. So, yeah. The entity. sure you're curious about this, at least I hope so. Nature, a ghost-like psychological parasite created from decades of suppressed violence within West Creek High. It cannot touch anyone, it cannot move objects. It can only speak, manifest hallucinations, and twist memories. Limitations, it cannot harm physically, it cannot leave the radius of its locker. It needs humans with violent intentions to carry out physical actions. Powers, overwhelming emotional manipulation, projecting guilt fantasies, warping memories, making the hall shift to perception, not reality. Amplifying the darkest feelings of those already traumatized. So basically, it feeds on people's trauma, it feeds on their violent tendencies. It essentially uses whatever people have gone through to get to its goal, which is to feed on guilt, fear, and unresolved conflict. Because it has unresolved conflict. That's why it hasn't passed on to, I guess, whatever afterlife you believe in. Rozelle's return to West Creek reignited years of untouched trauma, making them its perfect target. Relationship with the antagonist. The entity unlocks their rage and encourages their violence, but it cannot compel them. They act because they want revenge. This makes what they do worse. Their choices are their own. Now, I will likely... I've already had Ellie have a more conflict, so her choices are not really her own. The choices that they make are as a result of the locker manipulating them and Thomas. Thomas is also a driving force in all of this, but he is the second most driving force. So I will not go any further because I don't want to give any more information, but I also have redone all of their character references, so I will go pull that up. Alright, Summon Art Fight. Now, ignore the rest of these characters that are not Locker 79. Now, of course, if you want to go see them, I am Cosmical. CO2 MIICAL. Anyway, you got Amber. I'm just going to show the appearances. I'm not going to show like the descriptions. You can go read those yourselves. So this is Amber. She kind of has her original design, but you could draw her pretty much with the hat or the star pin. I really liked her original design, but I gave her more freckles and a like, I don't know what it is. It's like a, oh, okay, it's like a mole or something. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, she's very, very cute. I love her. We got Ansley. I kept her vitiligo because she's really cute, but I made her skirt a little longer, and yeah, she's just adorable. I tried to give her more like curly hair because she does have curly hair, but hopefully it worked out. We got Dan. His design changed a little bit. He's got the red and black thing. Oh no, never mind, I colored it. I thought it colored it. Love that. That's Dan though. He's living his truth. He's a very simple guy. We love him. We got Ellie. Her design didn't really change much beside the stripes, and she looks very peeved. She still has like a crap ton of hair. I made her shoes a little more detailed because I know how to draw laces now. Thanks to Drawing 101. Love that. Let's see. I have all of them on here. Miss Mia Allison, the teacher. Love her. She's adorable. I kept her original outfit just because it's too iconic. Millie. Nothing really changed about her her design, but I made her a little bit pudgy. But she's adorable. Very, very sweet person. We got Roselle. They definitely changed a lot in a way, but I changed their hair. Definitely their hair has been changed a little bit. Their bun, that's just a random bun thing I drew. I don't know, it looks fine. Their jacket now has these. They have a belt that's not black. They still have their cool shoes because, you know, they're like, what are they, like 15? So they like to have their cool little laces. Also, they are confirmed pan-romantic, hebiosexual. Love that for them. We got Ryan. Oh, my bad. Hold on. We got Ryan. He changed a lot. I made his eyes small, by the way, because he's old. I didn't like that he had a monochrome outfit because it kind of felt like it was repetitive between Roselle and him. So I gave him like a green kind of outfit, and his shoelaces are like a lighter brown. I also gave him a striped shirt. So he looks a lot better now. He's got some sort of fluffy hair here. Very nice guy. Sydney. Didn't change her much. Oh, I say that. No, she definitely changed. I don't have her headband. I just realized that, but it's fine. I can fix that later. If I still want to. So she just has, you know, these two bows. She has an off-the-shoulder jacket. She has a plaid skirt. She has black socks. She's very adorable. She don't look her age though. She's like 30 years old. So love that. Thomas. You'll notice I added this to his face. He's got a spot on his face. Also, he's confirmed gay. Because I just didn't have any, like, gay characters. Like, I had lesbians, but I didn't have gay characters. So, yeah. I mean, that's not the only reason. I mean, he just kind of gives those vibes anyway. He's definitely gay. Looks a little bit, just doesn't want to be here. And I don't, you know what? He's so me for real. We got V. Adorable. She is also demi-rose gynosexual, which I believe is like she likes women essentially, and she is demi-sexual and demi-romantic. So the term for that is demi-rose. Instead of saying demisexual, demi-romantic, you would just say demi-rose. Vincent, he's also gay because he definitely looked kind of gay. If you're you are not wearing something like this and being straight. Sorry, I don't make the rules. And also looking like that, yeah, you gay. You definitely gay. He's adorable. I love him. He's just a little guy. If you guys want any more content, if you want me to go into specific character backstories or anything like that, let me know. I can expand on things. I want to make more content while I'm recreating this series because I want to build up hype, low-key. And hopefully I will be able to give some process of the writing stage and the art stage. I am in art school, so hopefully that'll help me out. So yeah, another train's passing by, so I think that's my sign. Have a blessed one and stay safe.